about the pain. Gotta let them know. Gotta let them know about the pain. Gotta let them know. Gotta let them know about the pain. Gotta let them know. Lord, the world think you left the streets and that you ain't the kind of guy that was blessed with peace. And because you ain't busting heat, that you can't relate to being tempted to grind and eat, or to flip a little ecstasy, just playing role where you see like a sesame, or the meaning of thug destiny, or to know what's all up in the mix like a recipe. They can't possibly that you paid the dues when you ran in the streets of old Jerusalem. You wasn't the done with the Godfather, not the visible Father God, and you ran your squad, and now you run inside a cast with hats and boots. Evangelical hip-hop mothers gave recruits, and just like Jews ain't gonna filter fish, ain't too many dudes that are built for this. We grind for souls, forget what the lion told. We get throwback jerseys with choir rolls, Sunday clothes. If you catch us in the pulpit, it's fitted and back your bows. Here's the goals, take the risk, light the coals, bring the heat, flex the gift, break the mold, recruit and list, fulfill the great commission like LJ said. We tryna rock the souls.
Like this, I live it, I don't love it. Who might face this? Whose word is this? Whose word is this? Here to transform. What bomb? Welcome back to another live stream. Please share, subscribe, hit that like button for me, and let's get to this live. Now, we got another interesting topic. Trump floats Portland for next National Guard's deployment. President Donald Trump says late Friday he will send National Guard troops to another city, and while declining to specify which city it will be mentioned, Portland, Oregon, as one possibility. Speaking to reporters in the Oval Office, Trump, whom orders deploying National Guard troops in Los Angeles, Washington, D.C. this summer, sparking controversy and legal challenges from local officials who did not condone the others. Said Portland recently entered a short list of cities who was considering. He also mentioned in New Orleans early this week has cited Baltimore, Chicago in recent weeks, like Portland voters in those cities heavy towards Democratic candidates. Television report Thursday night alerted him to supposed rampant violence in Portland, he says. He also possibly is sending more heavy guards to week-long protests in the city after the police murder of George Floyd in Minneapolis in 2020. These protests, which sometimes includes clashes with police, ended in 2020. I didn't know that was continuing to go on, but Portland is unbelievable, he says. The destruction of the city. Well, I'm going to look at it now because I didn't know that it was still going on. This had been going on for years, so we be able to stop that very easy. Now, the city of the mayors, you know, when I roll this clip, they talking about they don't need heavy deployment. Now, mind you, there was another city mayor, you know, that was in Chicago talking about the same thing. Are we seeing martial law? Are we seeing the beginning of martial law? Now, According to the reports, Trump, without offering evidence, described the city as beset by terrorists who smoke bomb stories. And when we go there, if we go to Portland, we're going to write them out, he says. They are going to be done, and they are going to be done bad. They won't even stand the fight. They will not stay there. They are ruining. They are ruining that city. What they done to that city is like living in hell, he added. Another National Guard deployment is coming. Now, I'm going to tell y'all this right quick. If the government was to shut down, be specking a crackdown of these National Guards to come. Now, according to the reports, Trump's opinion on the states of Oregon largest city was part of the answer to reporters' questions about if he had chosen the next city where he would send National Guard troops. The president says he would send troops to another city and had decided which one, but was not ready to announce it. I'm not going to say it now, but yeah, I have decided. He says we are going to go into another place and straighten it out. Trump has said the deployment to Los Angeles was meant to subdue protests over the administration immigration crackdown, while the troops in the District of Columbia were there to control crime despite a 30-year low violent crime rate and national capital. California government Gavin Newsom and District of Columbia attorneys General Bryant has sued Trump over the deployment. Newsom won a decision Tuesday with U.S. District Judge Charles ruling that Trump used military personnel as law enforcement in violation of an 18th century law banning military personnel from conducting law enforcement as well as more fundamental principles of U.S. democracy. The administration has not responded, according to reports, was filed on Thursday. Now, Oregon Capital Chronicle is part of the state's New Rooms, a nonprofit news network supported by grants and have a close collision of donors as a 501 public charity. Oregon Capital Chronicles maintain, according to reports. So let's roll this clip, y'all, because the city mayor is very fierce. The people are fierce of Trump sending heavy military men. Are we seeing martial law? Are we seeing the beginning of this martial law? Are we seeing the beginning of the purge? I told y'all this on my last video. Are we seeing the beginning of the purge? Now let's roll this clip because the city mayors and these people that's very supportive of the state of Oregon, it just don't make no sense. Now they coming out and saying that we don't have no kind of problem with our cities. You know, it's sad to deploy heavy, troops. Now let's roll this clip, y'all. Let's get this show on the way.
An American city. We do not need any intervention. This is not a military target. The president will not find lawlessness or violence here. I've been so deeply disappointed to see the footage from a half decade ago, recycled and then recycled again. On Monday, I will gather with a dozen regional mayors to sign a joint statement modeled after that of Mayor Brandon Johnson of Chicago, who received the same ugly threat of military deployment as Portland now has. Like Mayor Johnson's executive order, our statement will be one of values, of caring for our community and caring for each other. And that's what we need right now, not occupying troops.
I communicated that to the president directly. Oregon is our home. It is not a military target. Any deployment would be an abuse of power and a misuse of federal troops. And I have a message for Oregonians. Let's not take the bait. Let's not respond to what the president is trying to do. We have to raise our voices absolutely, peacefully, to the things that we believe in. But I also want to say that any property damage or violence of any kind will get us nowhere and will not be tolerated.
President Trump has directed all necessary troops to Portland, Oregon. The number of necessary troops is 0 in Portland and any other American city. And let me repeat that. This is an American city. We do not need any intervention. This is not a military target. The president will not find lawlessness or violence here. I've been so deeply disappointed to see the footage from a half decade ago, recycled and then recycled again.
Let me say this to you guys. Portland is not a military base for Trump to send heavy, troops. The sad thing is, these people are, when it comes to the city mayors and, these people want closure, man. They doing the best thing they can to keep their, streets, safe. And the thing is, Trump is applying heavy military troops, and his next move is to continue to bring in heavy troops. Now, my question been, are we seeing the beginning of martial law? Are we actually seeing the beginning of the of the martial law? Are we seeing the beginning of things that's about to tick? Now, I don't know the latest, of the government shutdown, because it's still showing that they want a shutdown. But I was looking at the reports that Trump will meet with Republicans, and hopefully they can work on an agreement to keep, our economy open. So that's the latest I have on that. That Trump supposed to be getting with Republicans, and I think they're gonna probably end up reaching a deal. I think that they will probably have it, open, because the worst thing you can do is to have the government shut down. That's the worst thing that they can possibly do, is to have a shutdown. So I'm thinking that they're gonna probably reach a conclusion to avoid a government shutdown. I just think that's just my take on it. I don't think I strongly don't think that the government will shut down. We always get to this, we always get to where, we have to play it by ear. But I'm thinking that they'll reach, they'll reach a decision. Now let's go.
On Monday, I will gather with a dozen regional mayors to sign a joint statement modeled after that of Mayor Brandon Johnson of Chicago, who received the same ugly threat of military deployment as Portland now has. Like Mayor Johnson's executive order, our statement will be one of values, of caring for our community and caring for each other. And that's what we need right now, not occupying troops.
In my conversations directly with President Trump and Secretary No, I have been abundantly clear with them that Portland and the state of Oregon believe in the rule of law, and we can manage our own local public safety needs. There is no insurrection, there is no threat to national security, and there is no need for military troops in our major city. Portland's doing just fine. And I made that very clear to the president this morning. Our city is a far cry from the war-ravaged community that he has posted about on social media. And I conveyed that directly to him. That we got this, we are good, we are doing fine. And I also said to him, we have to be careful not to respond to outdated media coverage or misinformation that's out there. We know what's happening in our own city, and we are doing just fine. Any federal takeover with military troops in our state is a threat to communities across Oregon. It violates our right to govern ourselves. It interferes with local law enforcement's ability to fulfill their mission. And frankly, it drains taxpayer resources that could be better spent elsewhere. And again, I communicated that to the president directly. Oregon is our home. It is not a military target. Any deployment would be an abuse of power and a misuse of federal troops. And I have a message for Oregonians. Let's not take the bait. Let's not respond to what the president is trying to do. We have to raise our voices absolutely, peacefully, to the things that we believe in. But I also want to say that any property damage or violence of any kind will get us nowhere and will not be tolerated.
President Trump has directed all necessary troops to Portland, Oregon. The number of necessary troops is 0 in Portland and any other American city. And let me repeat that. This is an American city. We do not need any intervention. This is not a military target. The president will not find lawlessness or violence here. I've been so deeply disappointed to see the footage from a half decade ago recycled and then recycled again. On Monday, I will gather with a dozen regional mayors to sign a joint statement modeled after that of Mayor Brandon Johnson of Chicago, who received the same ugly threat of military deployment.
You see, Johnson, he is receiving the same military threat, man. These, when it comes to the city mayors, man, they don't want no trouble, man. And Trump is escalating a war. He's fueling a civil war, y'all. See, this the beginning, y'all. I've been saying this the beginning of martial law. And Trump's next move is to deploy heavy troops in the states. I told y'all, if the government was shut down, y'all, Trump is going to do a nationwide crackdown. From the remaining of this year into next year. So here's my whole take on things, y'all. The government, they know they can't shut down. Just my take. They know they can't shut down. They always, it seems like they always play this kind of game. And then, for them to avoid a shutdown, that they're going to probably sometime this week, they will come, they'll come with an agreement. Because if the government was to shut down, so much would be at stake. It would be chaos. And I don't think that they will want that. So we got to see, fam. We got to see how things going to play out here. I'm strongly thinking that they will possibly avoid a government shutdown. That's my take on it, fam. That they're going to strongly, avoid a government shutdown. Because they know they got to do what's best for business. If the government was to shut down, it's going to be chaos. People are going to lose their minds. That's just my take, fam. You know, I probably could be wrong. You know what I mean? But that's just my take. Because it just won't make sense, because if the government was shut down, so much will be at stake. People gonna lose their Social Security. People checks will be delayed, and people will be so fierce. And then you have to look at the government was shut down. Then they're gonna probably, you know what I mean, have curfews. So, you know, really it's a 50-50, man. You know what I mean? I'm just saying that the government, you know what I mean, will have, you know what I mean, to think that the both parties, you know what I mean, will have to think. The latest I had was Trump was supposed to get with the Republicans. They supposed to be having a little meeting, a little discussion, and I believe that, you know what I mean, they're gonna avoid a government shutdown. That's my take, y'all. That's just my take on it. Let's go.
As Portland now has. Like Mayor Johnson's executive order, our statement will be one of values, of caring for our community and caring for each other. And that's what we need right now, not occupying troops. From a half decade ago, recycled and then recycled again. On Monday, I will gather with a dozen regional mayors to sign a joint statement modeled after that of Mayor Brandon Johnson of Chicago, who received the same ugly threat of military deployment as Portland now has. Like Mayor Johnson's executive order, our statement will be one of values, of caring for our community and caring for each other. And that's what we need right now, not...
I want to give a big shout out to my, you know what I mean, to Alexander for sending the gift. You know, I appreciate the gifts. You know what I mean? I want to just, you know what I mean, thank you for the gift that you have sent. Really appreciate it.
not occupying troops.
There is no threat to national security, and there is no need for military troops in our major city. Portland's doing just fine. And I made that very clear to the president this morning. Our city is a far cry from the war-ravaged community that he has posted about on social media. And I conveyed that directly to him. That we got this, we are good, we are doing fine. And I also said to him, we have to be careful not to respond to outdated media coverage or misinformation that's out there. We know what's happening in our own city, and we are doing just fine. Any federal takeover with military troops in our state is a threat to communities across Oregon. It violates our right to govern ourselves. It interferes with local law enforcement's ability to fulfill their mission. And frankly, it drains taxpayer resources that could be better spent elsewhere. And again, I communicated that to the president directly. Oregon is our home. It is not a military target. Any deployment would be an abuse of power and a misuse of federal troops. And I have a message for Oregonians. Let's not take the bait. Let's not respond to what the president is trying to do. We have to raise our voices absolutely, peacefully, to the things that we believe in. But I also want to say that any property damage or violence of any kind will get us nowhere and will not be tolerated.
President Trump has directed all necessary troops to Portland, Oregon. The number of necessary troops is 0 in Portland and any other American city. And let me repeat that. This is an American city. We do not need any intervention. This is not a...
So here's my take on things. You know, Trump got a lot of personal things that he's going on. I want y'all to hear me. Trump got a lot of personal things that he got going on. And when I when I you know what I mean what I mean by that, y'all, that just look at the Epstein. See, the Epstein files is so vital for people that want to see, because they know Trump was all on the Epstein files. Trump is trying to, bring a distraction. And like I said, y'all, there was no actual need for Trump to send military troops into Portland. The city mayors, y'all hearing what the city mayors is saying there. Trump actually want a distraction, y'all. Trump want to escalate a war. So that way, that's the only way. If he escalate a war, that's the only way the Epstein list can go away, y'all. Y'all gotta peep, man. Y'all gotta peep the play, man. Y'all gotta peep the play where Trump is up to, man. Let's go.
A military target. The president will not find lawlessness or violence here. I've been so deeply disappointed to see the footage from a half decade ago recycled and then recycled again. On Monday, I will gather with a dozen regional mayors to sign a joint statement modeled after that of Mayor Brandon Johnson of Chicago, who received the same ugly threat of military deployment as Portland now has. Like Mayor Johnson's executive order, our statement will be one of values, of caring for our community and caring for each other. And that's what we need right now, not occupying troops.
That was good. We'll be announcing that sometime later. And he'll be making an announcement too. But we had a great meeting with Turkey, and they're a very respected president. And spent time, we had lunch, and we had a lot of good discussions. So those two things. And we have some executive orders today to sign that are very important for the country. And we'll start off with one that's a proclamation. And want to do that, Will?
Yes, sir. So today is Gold Star Mothers and Families Day. This is an annual proclamation. This is to commemorate the fallen, those who have died for all of our freedoms and for our country, and for their families who have suffered such grievous losses. But this is a proclamation commemorating Gold Star Mothers and Gold Star families.
Yeah, and they're great people. Incredible people, what they've had to go through. Very few people could have gone through this kind of thing. Gold Star. Okay, thank you very much. I'll put it over here, Steve.
Next, sir, we have an executive order on TikTok. From the first days of your administration, you've charged a team from your
When was the last time you smiled without hesitation? I meet people every day who cover their mouths when they laugh.
Conversations directly with President Trump and Secretary No, I have been abundantly clear with them that Portland and the state of Oregon believe in the rule of law, and we can manage our own local public safety needs. There is no insurrection, there is no threat to national security, and there is no need for military troops in our major city. Military service members should be dedicated to real emergencies. The members of the Oregon National Guard, their mission is to stand up and protect Oregonians, and they will do that every day, but they are not needed in the city. They are not needed here. And you can tell because you're here with me in Portland. You can see that this city is safe and calm. It is a beautiful.
Okay, I have a brother by C Unit. He says in the last 38 years, the government has shut down 196 times, and not a single one of those 196 times has Social Security checks ever been late? I mean, we're looking at approximately 38 years ago. And, you know, I want to say this, fam. 38 years ago was a long time. Things, if we look at, you know what I mean, our society, we're looking at things is drastically changed. They've been talking about a fallout, you know. And what's in that beautiful bill, Trump is not letting that get in the way, man. So, to me, man, if a government was to shut down, this thing, see, it ain't 36 years, or I'd say 38 years. It's not, y'all. It's not where we can go back to time and think that, oh, everything will be on time if the government was shut down. People have Social Security on time. People checks won't be delayed. So that's basically what the gentleman, you know what I mean, is saying, that, well, we won't have to worry about no delays. But this is a different era. I mean, we see in the fallout, y'all. What's in that big beautiful bill? It's gonna affect a lot of us, a lot of Americans, millions of Americans. It's gonna affect us, y'all. And then this thing about the government was shut down. We have a bipartisan, you know what I mean, shit bill. If this whole thing was shut down, come on, y'all. I don't know, fam, because you start seeing things. It's 38 years was long ago, y'all. And we see 196 times that there was on time with Social Security, paychecks, and everything. But this is not that time. We come into a different time, y'all. We come into a different time. You know what I mean? When I'm seeing a fallout, man, I'm seeing what Trump is doing. y'all not understanding, man. Y'all not understanding, man. If the government shut down, man, people checks is not gonna be on time, man. Social Security, they've been talking about Social Security will be gone. This is not like 38 years ago. That's the thing I'm trying to bring to you guys. This is not like 38 years ago. It's like we coming into a different time. We actually come into a different time, man. You know, and the government shut down, Social Security is gone. If the government was to shut down, let's think about it. Look, y'all, I want y'all to use y'all discernment. Trump got a big case that people has been talking about. The Epstein list. Now, if the government is shut down, we're gonna be in trouble. We're gonna be in trouble. Trump is trying to work with Republicans to see if they can come with a solution. But look, man, y'all gotta look. I want y'all to look, man. I want y'all to try and look at the play. Trump cannot, you know what I mean, ill afford to get these Epstein lists brought in. So if the government shut down, that's going to be the talk. That will be the talk. If the government was shut down, that will be the talk. So if you ask me, be truthfully, I'm gonna be just truthfully here. Man, it's a 50-50. That's when I'm putting that. It's a 50-50, y'all. Chance. Let's go.
Beautiful day to be here. For those of you who are here downtown or watching at home, you know that our city is not the place that people think it is from years ago. There's business thriving. People are coming downtown. They are enjoying this community. We have students who are ready to go see the Lion King tonight at the Keller Auditorium. People are going to the Timbers match. People are downtown shopping. Folks who are getting ready to go to work at the restaurants here that make the Rose City a culinary capital are getting ready to go to work. People are shopping. People are going to the farmers markets or at the Saturday market. Portland's doing just fine. And I made that very clear to the president this morning. Our city is a far cry from the war-ravaged community that he has posted about on social media. And I conveyed that directly to him. That we got this, we are good, we are doing fine. And I also said to him, we have to be careful not to respond to outdated media coverage or misinformation that's out there. We know what's happening in our own city, and we are doing just fine. That being said, we do face real challenges in Portland, as does the rest of the country. We're worried about the cost of living. We want our schools to do what is necessary for our students, and we want to make sure that people have good jobs and homes that they can afford. I need help for those kinds of things, and that's the kind of help I need, not having military troops for the federal government in our state. President Trump's inconceivable insistence that we need federal troops in Portland does not address the real concerns in our communities. We do not need or want federal troops in Oregon stoking fear, creating conflict, and frankly escalating a situation that is under control. Any federal takeover with military troops in our state is a threat to communities across Oregon. It violates our right to govern ourselves. It interferes with local law enforcement's ability to fulfill their mission. And frankly, it drains taxpayer resources that could be better spent elsewhere. And again, I communicated that to the president directly. Oregon is our home. It is not a military target. Any deployment would be an abuse of power and a misuse of federal troops. People across the state and across the political spectrum here in Oregon are uniting together to peacefully oppose policies that they do not agree with. I believe in free speech and the ability to lawfully and peacefully protest.
Have you ever seen people flipping houses and say, man, I wish I could make money like them? They've got dumpsters there, they've got contractors going in and out.
And I have a message for Oregonians. Let's not take the bait. Let's not respond to what the president is trying to do. We have to raise our voices absolutely, peacefully, to the things that we believe in. But I also want to say that any property damage or violence of any kind will get us nowhere and will not be tolerated. If you want to stand in opposition to the Trump administration, I would ask that you lean into supporting your community, helping people, making things better here, because that's who we are as Oregonians. I just want to wrap up by saying I believe the president does not have the authority to deploy federal troops on state soil. I'm coordinating with Attorney General Dan Rayfield to see if any response is necessary, and we will be prepared to respond if we have to. Oregon has not requested any federal assistance, and nor do we need it. Thanks very much, and now I'd like to pass over the mic to Mayor Keith Wilson.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. And also thank you to the friends and colleagues that are standing with me today. Appreciate you on such short notice coming out to show your...
I want to say this, y'all. You know, the city mayors you know what I mean? They got their hands so tied, y'all. You know, remember the city mayor, of Chicago, Mr. Johnson was having the same problem. Now, I think the next move that Trump is going to send National Guard is going to probably be New York. I think New York's going to be hit. That's another, you know what I mean, big state, another state where, you know what I mean, violence and crime is up. And like I said, nothing surprised me. It's like nothing surprised me, y'all. And you know, you know what I mean, take when I see where this economy is heading, I'm looking at it like this. This is how I'm looking at it. They want a shutdown, but you're gonna hear the more you know the more you start watching, the time start coming close and close. You know what I mean? They're gonna try to, you know what I mean? They're gonna try to do anything they can to avoid a government shutdown. But I'm strongly thinking this with so much we see going on. This with Trump's approval ratings. This where we at. Man, I'm gonna tell you this. We as American people, we will lose. The government don't, they don't have, if it was shut down, they don't have, you gotta look at this. They don't have nothing to lose. These people don't have nothing to lose. We have everything to lose. They don't. That's what y'all gotta look at the big picture here. Now, the ICE agents, you know what I mean, they didn't want to come to these major cities. Trump actually called on National Guard to go to Portland when they didn't want to go in those cities. You know, so I'm looking at it like, are they declaring martial law? Are this the beginning of martial law? This is what we actually see in the beginning of martial law. Now, I want y'all to use y'all discernment. Do y'all see the beginning of martial law? Because that's what we're seeing. I told y'all, man, y'all better y'all better think. This is why you need to be vigilant and think here, man, because Trump is starting a war. And you're about to see all hell break out. This is the beginning of the purge. Let's go.
Support for Portland. I'll jump right in. President Trump has directed all necessary troops to Portland, Oregon. The number of necessary troops is 0 in Portland and any other American city. And let me repeat that. This is an American city. We do not need any intervention. This is not a military target. The president will not find lawlessness or violence here. I've been so deeply disappointed to see the footage from a half decade ago, recycled and then recycled again. If President Trump came to Portland today, what he would find is people riding their bikes, playing sports, enjoying the sunshine, buying groceries or produce from a farmer's market, as the governor had noted. We've had hard conversations and we've done important work in the years since that footage was taken. We reformed our public safety system. We've refocused our community and on our economy. And we've redoubled our efforts to help our most vulnerable. In fact, we could use federal help for all those things I just listed. Imagine if the federal government sent hundreds of...
I want to say this to my brothers and sisters. Romans 12, verse 2. Do not conform to this pattern of this world, but be transformed by renewing of your mind. See, God will send a powerful illusion so that people will continue to believe the lies. So that people will continue to believe what they hear. What you're hearing is not true. What you're seeing is real. But what you're hearing is not truth. It's fabricate lies. So I want to say this to my brothers and sisters. Don't follow the pattern of this world. But we got to be transformed in the renewing of our minds. This is why I said this is the rule on the awakening. We gotta use our third eye, y'all. We gotta use our discernment. We gotta think. We gotta outthink them. We gotta be, you know what I mean, where we gotta have a sound mindness at the same time. And we got to outthink the opponent at all times. Now, I say this to y'all. Expect for the worst. Never hope for the good, but expect for the worst. Because they've been telling us that the worst is yet to come. Something big is coming here. And it's just a matter of time. Now, I wonder, because the report is coming out now. Breaking news is coming out that city mayors think that New York will be hit next. That's the breaking news that I'm seeing. Now, we are already seeing an uptick with violence crimes throughout America, y'all. They're not really mentioning that school shootings that we have in America. They're not even, you remember the Minneapolis shootings, that massacre shooting, they're not even talking about that. You see, Trump is not deploying troops over in Minneapolis. You remember the country club shooting. He's not deploying military troops over in a country club. You got all these shootings we seeing that's happening. But he's just focused on Chicago, Washington, Memphis, now Portland, and now New York's going to be hit. Let's go.
Of engineers or teachers or outreach workers to Portland, instead of a short, expensive, and fruitless show of force. On Monday, I will gather with a dozen regional mayors to sign a joint statement modeled after that of Mayor Brandon Johnson of Chicago, who received the same ugly threat of military deployment as Portland now has. Like Mayor Johnson's executive order, our statement will be one of values, of caring for our community and caring for each other. And that's what we need right now, not occupying troops.
Amazon publishing isn't new, but this way of doing it is, and most writers still have no idea. The first time I tried it,
It will also cover the standards that we hold ourselves to, and the standards that we must, as a nation, hold our federal law enforcement and military to. We have a place at the table for everyone willing to lend us a hand, and that should include the federal government. Again, I am so deeply disappointed with the federal government's irresponsibility. At the end of the day, this may be a show of force, but that's all it is. It's a big show. And after big show, everyone goes home, and that's what I want to happen here today. In Portland, we have a long and proud tradition of peaceful protests. We have a long and proud track record of being at the forefront of positive social change. There are new risks today, risks that we do not yet fully understand. The administration has refused to elaborate on what they mean when they say they will deploy full force against our city and citizens. I will also say this: avoiding the unknown element will not help us prevent from joining together to bring our voices and speak.
I want to say this to you guys, man. Satan can't reign much longer. A time has come, y'all. These 1,000 years we see Satan, time has come. A time is coming, y'all. See, Satan time is to steal, kill, and destroy, take away everything. You know what I mean? Satan's job was to take away everything, to keep the world into confusion. But God is moving the confusion out from us, and He had put it into them. That's the reason why the government is confused. Because they know their time is here. They've been playing the game. They've been planning the scheme. But God too is planning. And he's the best planner, knowing their thoughts before they was ever made. See, the God we serve, He's a merciful God. He's been a forgiving God. But He's not a God to be taken granted. He also shows you that He's a jealous God. But it seems that when it comes to the wicked, see, the wicked, they think that today that they are mightier than God. The wicked, they think that they can thwart His plan and purpose until He comes, who right it is to rule. And we should all say, never, no more will the earth be let out to these non-owners. They have proved that we even try them to govern, but they prove to us that they haven't been successful at it. They prove that to us because they put it in your face. Whenever they can tell you that we are on a break of a shutdown and we are running out of funds, That's the see. That's the thing I'm saying to y'all. That's the take I'm getting. They is saying that they're running out of funds, and that we are on the break of a shutdown. Supposedly, they run out of funds. We seen trillions of dollars being spent in the wars. We seeing FEMA just being snatched of $4.6 billion funding being snatched. You mean to tell me they are already showing you they ran out of funds? I tell y'all this again. Satan's job is to steal, kill, and destroy, if possible. If the government, I want y'all to think for a second. If the government was shut down, they stealing people's Social Security. That's millions that they can steal Social Security. I want y'all to think for a second. I want y'all to think logic. Cool. Think, you know what I mean? Put your thinking cap on. I want you to do some serious thinking here. They want Social Security, you know what I mean, taken. You know why I say this to y'all? They've been talking about it. They're trying to bring in the Great Depression, the great commodity days as they had it back in 1970. When you see a high inflation. See, y'all gotta understand they ain't got nothing to lose. But America got everything to lose. Y'all gotta think for a second. Think about the Great Depression. Just think about it. Share this video. Watch this video again. Watch in the very beginning of 2026 what Trump is going to do. They're gonna do a nationwide crackdown. Believe it or not. But I'm gonna be the first one to tell you. Let's go.
Is one, and call for an end to federal government unwanted, unneeded, and un-American deployment to the city that we all love. Thank you for coming here. Thank you for joining us. And I'd like to return this and turn it over to Congressman Bonamici.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Governor. I'm Suzanne Bonamici, and I proudly represent Oregon's 1st Congressional District, where we are right now. I share Portland with Congresswoman Maxine Dexter. On the outskirts, we have Congresswoman Andrea Salinas and Congresswoman Janelle Bynum. And we're here as a delegation to say we do not need and we do not want federal troops here in Oregon. This is a gross abuse of power by the president. He does not have the authority to send military troops to a city. And I tell you, I am in Portland a lot. I was at the ICE facility a couple of days ago. I was in Portland yesterday on the east side for a meeting and last night for an event. Nowhere did I see one single indication that we need military troops here.
If you have a 700 plus credit score, you qualify for Chase's new program where you get access to 100.
I strongly oppose this action by the president, and I thank the governor and the mayor for their words. And I also want people to understand that Portland is a place of possibility. It's a place where here today we see the sun shining, people out in the streets, shopping in our stores, going to our amazing restaurants. We have amazing businesses here in Portland, and that is what Portland is about. It's a thriving, wonderful community, and sending military troops here will only make it dangerous, not just for people in Portland, but for the entire region. We need to stand together as a community, and we know how to do that in Portland. We respect the right for peaceful protest, and for people who want to do that, please be peaceful. We all want that to happen. We want people to exercise their free speech rights peacefully, but we also want to send a message to this administration. There are so many things you could be doing to help Portland. You could let us hire back the federal employees you fired. You could send us the dollars that Congress appropriated for infrastructure, for housing, for education. Those are things that will help Portland. Sending military troops here will not. So the congressional delegation stands together with the governor, with the mayor, with the business leaders and everyone, the elected leaders who are here today, saying no military troops in Portland. We are here to say no. We are here to say Portland is a great city that's thriving.
Let me tell y'all something. They taking away our funds, y'all. They snatching everything and pocketing up everything in these times, y'all. I want y'all to think there, man. I want y'all to think here, man. I want y'all to really do some serious thinking. I want you to think for a moment. They are taking our funds. See, this is a country that, you know what I mean, stole. So nothing should surprise you. I want y'all to just think, man, because they came, you know what I mean, when they came and wrote in the Constitution, when they wrote the Constitution, they didn't write it in for, you know what I mean, a minority people. They wrote it in for their own people. You gotta understand, they took this land, and then now they still, you know what I mean, funds. They taking everything. Y'all don't see we in the last days. Y'all don't see Satan's job is to steal, kill, and destroy, take away your future, because they don't have no future for us. What do the future holds if they don't have a future for us? You got to ask yourself, man, what do the future hold? Your children don't even have an education. Your children is not promised to make it. Your children may not be promised to finish high school. And then nowadays, man, you hearing children, they don't even want to go to school. When we look at the American educational systems, the students they don't want this world education. I'm seeing the people want a new world. They don't want this old world anymore. Because I've been saying the old world is dying. It's dying out. We ain't never seen killing the way it is. It's a new world that our people want. And see, here's the thing I have to say. They don't know how to prepare for a new world. They don't know how to prepare for a new world. So in a madness, we looking around our world today. We seeing violence, robbery, killings, drug addictions, rapists, looters looting throughout America. And I'm saying this to you. Now, This is what Trump wants. What I'm trying to say to y'all, we are being distracted. But this is what Trump wants. You are seeing the beginning of a purge. This is what, you know what I mean, Trump actually wants. He's fueling the situation. He's not stopping the situation. See, Trump says, I'm as president of the United States, I'm going to do what I want to do. This is what Trump is coming out. He says, look, man, I'm going to do what I want to do. I don't give a damn what people feel, what people think. I'm the president of the United States, and I'm going to do what I want to do. I tell you guys, man, they put this in our face, man. And look, a time is here, y'all. They can play all they want. They can do all the game playing, all they want to do. But their time is here. Their time is up. And the Most High God ain't playing with these people.
Writing, no military is welcome or needed here. I agree with the mayor. The number of necessary troops is 0. And now it's my honor to turn it over to Bob Day, our Portland Chief of Police.
Peace for Portland. Over 3 decades, that's been a personal mission of mine as I've served the Portland Police Bureau and I've served the community. And it doesn't change just because of today's events. And it doesn't change for the Portland Police Bureau because of today's events. The men and women of the Police Bureau will continue to show up and to provide the highest level of service and safety to ensure peace for Portland, for all Portlanders. We have had an amazing year of free speech expression, and I have no doubt that will continue. We have had literally tens upon thousands of Portlanders walking the streets, in our parks, expressing their First Amendment right, their opinion, their dissidence with what they're seeing happening on a federal or even a local level.
Why waste another summer not loving your body?
With Base 44, we turned that question into a successful.
And yet we have not had rest, we have not had vandalism, we have not had challenges that we have faced in years past. We have a track.
All right, you guys, make sure you guys subscribe, share this video for more updates. Stay subscribed. And we're going to be back with another live stream. To them, I'm out.